Hey everyone, my name's Gabriel Smith, and my presentation is on KRS-One and Boogie Down Productions and how KRS-One manipulates syntax to structure a rhyme. I will talk briefly also about KRS-One's philosophy on advanced street language, or in other words, how he represents the African American vernacular English in his music. Let's take a little introduction to who he is. There's KRS-One. For context, he was born Lawrence Chris Parker in Brooklyn in 1965. KRS-One first started releasing albums under the name Boogie Down Productions. After releasing 5 albums under the Boogie Down Productions name, KRS-One has released 25 studio albums to date. Vocal proponent of education for the African American community as well as the preservation of black culture, he founded the Temple of Hip Hop, which is an organization devoted to the celebration of the culture surrounding the music. After his friend and DJ was murdered in some gang violence, KRS-One began to create anti-violence movements in New York underground scene, hosting rap battles to settle beefs. He had a strong interest in philosophy at a young age, and also is very self-educated. He has done a lot of speaking events on African American English and how hip hop represents it. Uh, his name stands for knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. I chose KRS-One because of his impressive lyricism, as well as the representation of culture and his turns of phrase. The late 80s scene in hip hop, where he originated, was all about being informed and who could put the most words into a rhyme. And this is evidence in his peers such as Slick Rick and Public Enemy. KRS-One is considered to be one of the best of all time. I just thought it would be interesting to analyze some of his music. The song that I'll be presenting on is The Style You Haven't Done Yet by Boogie Down Productions. This is KRS-One's third studio album released in July 1989. We'll take a look at this phrase that I've highlighted here just to analyze what he's done. And so the first sentence, the first half of the phrase is I speak to you, not at you, to attack you. What we have here could be called a run-on sentence. It's got 3 distinct verbs or actions: the speak to you, not at you, to attack you. And so there's 3 distinct ideas going on there. Let's try to expand that sentence a little bit. So I'm speaking to you, but I'm not speaking at you in order to attack you. What we have here is what resembles more of a compound sentence with the 2 independent clauses being joined by a conjunction, which is the conjunction but. However, this is pretty wordy, and if you listen to the song, wouldn't really fit into the beat structure. Also, KRS-One would probably say that this isn't truly representative of advanced street language. And so, on the whole, it's not fly. It's not a good lyric. Here's KRS-One looking a bit disinterested. So let's see what he's done and why it works so well with the rhyme. It kind of contains a double entendre in context with the song. He's saying that he's coming to the person on good terms, to educate them on the art of rhymes. But the song is in its entirety is a diss track, with KRS-One being the teacher, and he only teaches for, quote, the gifted and poetically uplifted. If it's the 2 measures of the 4/4 per phrase, I'll clap it out for you. It's I speak to you, not at you, to attack you. And then another thing that he does that will accentuate the second half of the rhyme is the at you says it's not really an at you, it's the the voiceless post-alveolar affricate. So it's at you, which we'll see in the second half of the rhyme why that works so good. So here he's done this with the to you, not at you, to attack you. As I clapped it out earlier, you see that the U's and the to's, those all kind of flow and rhyme within the first line themselves. And then here with the voiceless post-alveolar affricate, the at you will rhyme with statue, and it's without any of the same vowel rhymes in the second half of the song, or the second half of the phrase. That statue really pops. And also the two U's are also there on the upbeats in the beat, and then the U and the statue are on the downbeats. I'll clap that out again with the whole phrase just so you can kind of understand what I'm saying. So the I happens on an upbeat, just by the way. I speak to you, not at you to attack you. Maybe when I'm through with this rhyme, I'll get a statue. And so what he's done is he's kind of modified, taken a classic syntactic construction, the compound the sentence, and compounded it even further to make it fit his turn of phrase. And now, so the question really is, is he breaking a rule of syntactic construction, or would it be possible that you could argue, and KRS-One himself might even argue, that this is would be prescriptive grammar. And there he was happy with that rhyme. And what I mean by that is that is he wrong in what he says because we're judging it by common English standards, or is it technically correct in his vernacular? And one of the quotes that I found about what the language he uses in his songs is that he said that it's commonly referred to as Black English, urban slang, and Ebonics, and it's hip-hop street language and its linguistic codes, the verbal communication of the streets. I think what he would argue is that it's correct, and that it just comes from his culture, but he's such a strong proponent of using his culture as language, and he's such a craftsman with his lyric writing, that I think he did a great job with turning a phrase. And one of the things that I found inside has to kind of do with mimicry in linguistics. I saw from one of the pages or papers I read on just kind of hip hop linguistics, is that copula deletion is common in African American vernacular English, and we see it here with Kanye West's song. He deletes the copula in you blank ask info, and then if we and we look at another rapper that is a white rapper that has mimicked the same copula deletion, and copula deletion just is kind of all on a side note. I learned that is common in Pidgin languages or in Creole languages. And if we look at what KRS-One says, that the music of hip-hop is the music of an entire culture. I think it's really interesting that you see white rappers, and not all of them will do it. Eminem, who claims that KRS One is a big influence on him, um, does do does have copious deletion in a lot of his songs. Um, and I just thought that was an interesting side note. But yeah, so that's my presentation. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Here's my sources, just kind of on background and on what KRS-One has to say about um, the American, or sorry, African American vernacular English. All right.